What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Cozy Conference. A lot has been going on in the world. A lot has been going on personally for your girl. And I feel like a lot has been going on personally for a lot of people. So this week, I want to come and talk to you about how to heal from trauma. Um, everything that's going on in the world right now, I really don't want to list it. I don't have to list it. You see it on the news. You see it on social media. You can't get away from it. It's like, dang, I want to go on social media and laugh. I can't laugh because I'm being triggered by some social injustice, or I'm being triggered by the freaking president, or I'm being triggered by like the virus, or like it's just so much worry, panic, anxiety like in the world. And also, like, at the same time, this is life, so we're always going through stuff, and it feels like emotions are heightened right now. So personally, I have been trying to heal from some ongoing trauma, and finally, like, the situation has cleared itself up. And it had to do with me and with my family, and now my family is like starting to heal. And like, I really feel like I have this information about healing inside of me that I just need to get out. Like, I just need to share this, because it's like this could have gone so many different totally different ways. I don't even want to get into that, but yes. So first things first, I'm just gonna hop right in. First things first, if you want to heal from something that hurt you emotionally, something that a big triggering emotional event or something like that, the first thing you want to do is change your environment. Once you change your environment, once you get into a new space, now you can start to think new thoughts. Because what happens, like, a lot of times when you're like in a space that you're comfortable with, you start to get a little routine. Like, you start to get, kind of your rhythm going. Like, okay, when I come in here, this is kind of like the stuff that I think about. This is the stuff that I do. I mean, think about a house. When you walk into a house, when you go in the bathroom, you know you're about to use the bathroom or take a shower. Like, every room has its purpose. And when you stay somewhere continually, like, you start to feel that. And if you don't have a space for you to just sit, heal, think, adjust, process, then you can start to feel like cluttered in. You can start to feel like, oh, I can't, I'm getting too big for this space. Like, the feelings that I feel are too big for this. Like, I need to go somewhere else. So I found what really helped me was changing my environment, and also making sure that I'm surrounding myself with people that support me. So, whoever that is, if that's your family, if that's your friends, best friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, whatever, whoever supports you, make sure you like get real close to them, because you're gonna need that. With me, I have always had a problem with like not being able to talk about something if I'm going through something, because how I feel is, okay, I don't really know what's happening. Like, I'm trying to process while living through the thing at the same time. So I would rather like say something after it's over. But like, a lot of the times, like, when things are like heavy and like it's just like constant, like, maybe every day you're learning some new information about something. Maybe every day you're watching the news and you feeling like tight about something, or you feeling sad about something. Maybe every day you seeing on social media all types of stuff that you don't like to see. That stuff builds up, like, and then it gets to a point where it's like you're trying to process the thing from last week, when it's been things adding up to this week. So like, you need to like expel, you need to get that out. Like, you need to talk to people, and you need to surround yourself with people that you can talk to. Make sure that you're not like trying to just talk to any old body, because everybody don't have your best interests at heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people, like, you can't tell them what you're about to do next, or you can't tell them what is going on, because they're gonna come with judgment. So let me talk real quick about how to support somebody. In case you're watching this and you're on the supporter side. When you're supporting somebody, you don't tell them, any judgments that you feel about the situation. You don't tell them, I told you so, about the situation. Let me show you how you support somebody. When you're supporting somebody, when they come to you to talk to you, you listen. And you listen by shutting up. You don't even need to add the little extras, like the the head nod. like continuously, which feels like, oh, you're not really listening to me. Like, just make sure that you're like completely giving that person your attention, and like you're like just putting yourself in their shoes and like just being a listener. Don't think about what you can say next. Don't think about how you would have handled the situation differently. Don't even try and think about any solutions right away. Because sometimes when you come back to a person when they trying to tell you like what they're going through, and you come back with some solutions, it feels like, oh, like you're not really feeling me right now. Like you hear what I'm saying, but you're not really feeling with me. And some stuff is like emotional. Like, you don't need a solution right away. And a lot of people don't really understand this. I know a lot of guys have trouble with this, but just think of it like this. If you are having, you know, shit, what am I trying to say? I'm just trying to say, like, if you're feeling emotional, you want to be able to have a space where you can let that emotion out, okay? Like, you can't just jump right to the next thing when you haven't processed the previous thing. Sometimes you just gotta process, you just gotta talk. Like, sometimes that's therapeutic for a person. And in that process, like, you can come up with solutions, like, for yourself. Or maybe if you're asking somebody for some solutions, but right off the bat, no, you need to just, if you're supporting a person, you need to just listen to them front to back. Like, they need to feel like they can come to you and like really release. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you support. Number one, that's number one. Number two, if a person needs you, if they say that they need you in that kind of way, be there for them in that kind of way. Or if you can't be there for them in the way that they need you to, tell them how you can be there for them. Because it's nothing worse than feeling like you're going through something all by yourself. It's nothing worse than that. So, and everybody can play a part in helping everybody else. If you really care about a person, you'll want to play your part. So that's all I wanted to say about supporting. So yes, change your environment and make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that support you. The next thing I want to talk about is when you're healing from trauma. A lot of questions will come into your mind, like, why? A lot of why questions. Why did I do this? Why did I stay? Why did I go through this? Why did this have to happen to me? Why this? Why that? Like, how could like, a lot of judgment turns inward when you go through trauma, rather than like, and then you also might feel anger, with anyone else that was involved. You might feel like, you did this to me. Why would you do that to me? And so it's just like, when you're asking yourself all these why questions, it's really unsatisfying to feel like, well, I don't know the answers to these questions. I think what really helps with healing is to try to ask yourself the right questions. Like, instead of asking yourself why, like, if you were in a bad relationship or something, you was in a bad situation, and you're asking yourself, like, why did I stay for so long? Instead of asking yourself, why did you stay for so long? Ask yourself, like, what led up to me feeling like this was the thing that, that I needed? What kind of values do I have that made me feel like this was something that I should have in my life? What kind of values do I have that made me feel like, I needed to set up these boundaries? What values do I need to have so that I can shape these boundaries? Like, those kind of questions. And once you wrap your head around those kind of questions, then you can start to remove some of that guilt from being in a situation that you shouldn't have been in. And you can start to heal, and you can start to mend, and you can start to say, okay, well, I know what to do so that I'm never in that situation again. And then you move forward. And it's just like, asking yourself the right questions, like, it works wonders. When you ask yourself the wrong questions, you can't get to a solution, you start to feel hopeless, and you start to feel like, and honestly, you're starting to hate on yourself, because it's like, how you gonna ask me a question I can't answer about myself? And that's self-sabotage. That is not self-love. That's messed up. So just make sure that you're being compassionate with yourself, and you're asking yourself good questions, you know, take some time to process. Write in a journal. Talk to your friends, your family, whoever. Like, talk to God. Like, if you don't want to talk to a person, just sit outside, say everything that you want to say. Maybe turn on your phone, turn your video on, and just say what you want to say. Like, just get it out, and just take time to ask yourself good questions and process this the right way. And be patient with yourself, because you're not always going to have the answer right away. Like, sometimes it's going to take some really deep digging. I've been describing this growth period as like, it's as glamorous as farming, like, which is not glamorous at all. Like, you out in the field, you gotta dig the holes, you gotta put the seeds in, so you all digging in the dirt and everything, you know, you gotta water it, you got mud on your shoes, on your boots, you got like sweat all over you because it's hot outside, because it's like, you know, planting season or whatever. You got all this stuff to do, all this hard work, you working all day and night, your back hurt, you tired, you know, like, it's not pretty at all. But you know, time goes by, and all this foundation that you have laid, all this work that you have done, it starts to reap crops, and you start to harvest your crops, and it's nothing like fresh, natural foods in your backyard. It's nothing like that. So it's like, you know, it's work. It's a lot of work, and sometimes it feels like, you know, you're pushing your way through. Like, sometimes it really feels like you are that seed, and you pushing through the soil. Like, you pushing through. Finally you break free and you sprout, and then it's only up from there. So it's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, and you just got to know that what you're doing now, what the work that you're putting in now, the things that you're thinking about from your past that have led to now, the hard conversations that you're having, all of that is going to help you grow, and it's going to be beautiful, it's going to be bountiful, it's going to be plentiful. So that is like one of the like things that give me like some peace when I'm going through like the hard part of growing. Like, sometimes it's really hard because it's like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is not what I'm comfortable with. Like, this is outside of my comfort zone. Like, even if it's not like, you know, a lot of like hard trauma that you're trying to work through, but maybe like you don't want to be disciplined with something. Maybe you want to like work out. I'm talking to myself. Maybe you want to work out, or maybe you want to do a diet or something, and you keep telling yourself like, I know what I need to do, but I don't really want to do that right now. Like, I'm not really, you know, or like, oh, I did this good. I mean, that's good enough. Like, I'm not really worried about that. I'm gonna wait until that later. Like, that's not growth. You're not gonna be able to grow that way. Imagine if like, I don't know, you was like a baby, like there's a baby, and the mom is like, okay, I fed the baby like you know, a week ago, he fine. Like, no, you gotta continue to nurture that. You gotta continue to work that out. You gotta continue to help that thing grow. Because if you just, you know, slack off like that, like, you're not doing the work. So it's gonna be hard. It's not glamorous. It's not beautiful all the time. But man, those results and those just like everything that you get from it is so valuable. It like you could not get that anywhere else. It's irreplaceable. And the peace that you feel knowing that you did this, and that, you know, you're growing and you're making your life better for yourself, that peace, you can't get that nowhere else. Like, you gotta grow through it. You gotta go through it, okay? Like, okay, so that's what I have for you guys on how to heal from trauma. I really want you to like continue to think about these things, think about the questions you're asking yourself, think about how patient you're being with yourself and compassionate, and you know, just continue to grow, y'all. We going through a lot right now. So, you know, just take it slow, be patient with yourself, love yourself, always. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, you guys. And thanks for tuning in. Like I said, I've been going through a lot. That's why I ain't been on That's why I have not been around. But I got a lot of stuff in my heart that I want to share with you guys. I got a lot of books that I read that I want to share with you guys. And I just, I'm getting back into the rhythm, and I hope y'all rocking with me. All right, y'all. Love y'all.